because
Yeah.
that's how everything is. It's always political warfare. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, well, maybe this was all the idea. You know what I mean? Maybe this is Jake Paul telling you that he's gonna fight his brother. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you haven't heard any promotion about Jake Paul since Mike Tyson. That was underwhelming for a lot of reasons. And then the next thing you hear is Jake is gonna fight Logan, and you're like, okay, but it's so crazy that it makes
Yeah.
people go, really? And then now you lean in again. And the
Yeah.
moment you lean in, you find out, oh, okay, they're not gonna fight, but maybe I'll fight this part. We're at the table again. We're here. We're
Yeah.
interested. We're invested one more time. And so it comes across like maybe that's what the 25% tariff and the 50% tariff that he talked about during the campaign trail was just a measure to get people to the table. I'm hoping that was the idea overall, all along.
Or yeah, or else it's like, hey, let's Jake Paul's gonna fight whatever, whoever, right? And say Manny Pacquiao or something. The reality is they're just doing it for the money. Like it doesn't really matter who wins. I'm still gonna make like 30 million bucks, right? Like,
Right, right. That's it. That's it.
you know.
That's what it comes down
So
to nowadays.
yeah, so hopefully it's not that, right?
Right.
But yeah.
So all in all, it sounds like you are saying that it is hard to tell right now if the tariff is going to be immediately beneficial or hurtful to the American people. But the idea is in the long run for America, we are going to begin to navigate back to um, onshore manufacturing, which is going to create more jobs, which is going to create a more robust, workforce, and which is going to strengthen us overall in not being so dependent on other countries for everything, and
Yeah.
basically be good for our stimulation. That's at least the hope and the direction and the reason for this. And it's not so much of what people were starting to feel like it was just some level of a political warfare or some level of a what they used to call it chicken. Was it chicken?
Yeah, game of chicken.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a game of chicken. Like who's gonna jump first, basically,
Yeah.
and we're going to just feel the whole grunt of it. Like you said, it is a tax. So when the left was saying he's going to put a 25% tax, and he's saying I'm not putting a 25% tax, he was, but he was just unable to, and this is often his issue, unable to articulate it in a way to allow people to understand that okay, yeah, it might be a tax, but this is why. This is the
Well,
reason
yeah,
it's a tax.
and there's more involved. It's not just the tariffs, right? It's like a 10-pronged approach that
Right,
he's
right,
going
right,
for. And I think the media kind of really focuses on the tariffs because that's probably the biggest news. But there's more that he's trying to do as well.
right.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, you pretty much wrapped it up in a nutshell. I was going to mention one more thing, but it slipped my mind. So hopefully I can remember here towards the end. But
Please do.
um, yeah, so it's definitely more than just the tariffs, right? And it is a tax. It's just who pays for it. That's a much harder question to answer. You
Right.
know, um, is it beneficial in the long term? Possibly, potentially,
Right.
hopefully,
Oh,
right?
right.
And and here, I was going to say this. Oh, and some of this is national security involved because
Ah,
with some of the products we bring in from China, I mean, we've all heard the stories, right? Oh, there's something in the iPhone that can be triggered by some person in China and they can listen to you, right? But another big one is like just like the a lot of people are worried that our power grid will go down. For us to get those items has to come from China, and we're about 2 years out from getting some of those things, right? So some of it is definitely a part of that. I think I think a lot of it will be blamed on that, So, oh, well, this is a national security issue as well as, a personal issue. But reality is we have a ton of debt in the U.S. If we have too much debt and can't really start paying for that, our international investors will pull their money.
Hmm.
And we already have had people pulling them. China's been pulling their money out of our treasuries for a long time, and they're combating us with, away from using our currency, working with the BRICS nations, right? And that's a whole nother story. That's a political move, but also, that's a fighting stance. That's like a not an act of war, but it almost seems that way.
Hmm.
And you have countries pull their money out of our treasuries. We don't have enough money here as individuals to buy all those treasuries. So now all of a sudden you dump your treasuries, the world dollar is not dominant anymore. And then you have the US kind of in a precarious situation where we're no longer the dominant country in the world. And I'm not saying we're the best at it, but it's like my, one of our pastors says. He says, "Look, like I know what a Christian's going to do with this money. I also know what somebody who's not a Christian is going to do with this money, and I'd much rather put my bet on somebody who's a Christian, right?" So it's like I'm not saying that there's no Christians in China and they're bad people and this and
Yeah,
that,
I get it.
but the point is like, who do you want to help run the world, right? Is it the U.S. or China?
Yeah.
So there's it's more than just one repercussion from just taking status quo, and that's where my point was saying is like actually what he's doing is something. And is it good or bad? It's going to be really hard to tell because there's so many moving parts, and we don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. We may go through another COVID type event, and then everything's just kind of back in the wind again, right? Like, I hope
Yeah.
not, but
Right.
that's the point.
And do you think that, not do you think, do you recall any efforts from any other administrations um, to help navigate us through this same problem? Or has everybody else just kind of been, hey, it is what it is. This is the way of the world. It's kind of the direction America's been going. Let's just stay the course. We're still powerful. Or has anybody else had their own efforts to say, hey, there's a problem over there. Let's see if we can redirect the ship?
Well, they've definitely done things more along the lines of like, okay, let's kind of make it in a way to save face, but let's not rock the boat too much.
Huh.
I mean, if you look at different presidents as they get in office versus the time they get out, I mean, you see how like just worn they are, right? I mean, unfortunately, Biden, like, man, poor guy, like, I mean, he did not look good coming out of office, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't look phenomenal going in, but he didn't look that bad.
Right.
And Trump, like, just like he's like a duck in a pond, dude.